North Korea's recent release of Canadian pastor Lim Hyeon-soo on what the regime claims was humanitarian grounds is sparking debate about other foreigners held captive in the north, like the 3 remaining Americans there. For more on Pyongyang's surprise move and the possible strategy behind it, our Cha Sang-mi reports.
North Korea released Korean-Canadian detainee Lim Hyeon-soo from jail on Thursday over his deteriorating health. He had been serving a life sentence since 2015 for alleged anti-state activities. Pyongyang's official Korean Central News Agency said the 62-year-old pastor was let go on sick bail after a Canadian government delegation arrived in Pyongyang to negotiate Im's case. And with Im being released amid the heightened tensions between North Korea and the U.S., experts say the move is part of the regime's survival strategy.
After the recent death of Otto Warmbier shook the international community, North Korea is now trying to improve its tarnished image with a friendly gesture by releasing Pastor Lim Hyeon-soo on sick bail.
Warmbier died soon after returning home in June after being released from the north in a comatose state. Another expert, however, says the regime could be sending a strategic message to the U.S. by releasing a Canadian detainee rather than a U.S. citizen.
The North solved this issue by negotiating with the Canadian national security in Pyongyang. Paradoxically, the regime is sending a message that the United States, too, should contact the North and solve their problems.
Amid the overheated verbal tensions between the U.S. and North Korean leaders, U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said on Monday that Washington was willing to talk to Pyongyang.
Just because they may be open to holding talks, it doesn't mean Rex Tillerson is going against the U.S. president. The U.S. has 2 cards, sanctions and engagement, and they are using them one at a time.
While the U.S. president and the Secretary of State are using different approaches to reach the same goal, experts say the current tensions between the U.S. and North Korea are not likely to subside easily. There's a possibility the U.S. State Department will send out their special envoy to the regime to try and obtain the release of the 3 Korean Americans detained by the state. Cha Sang-mi, Arirang News.